John Fitzpatrick, class of 1973. One can certainly call John Fitzpatrick's athletic choices diverse. He was one of three brothers to play baseball for 2018 Athletic Hall of Fame coach Ed Rowe, and usually got in shape for that by hitting the slopes in the winter. For as competent as he was in baseball, playing third base and hitting .333 in 1973, he had few equals in skiing. Although it had just gotten off the ground as a varsity sport in the early 1970s, Fitzpatrick did his best to make it successful. As a slalom racer, he was second in the league championships as a freshman and continued to consistently place in the top 5 over the duration of his career. He was named co-captain along with Bob Morrison, class of 1973, in their junior and senior seasons. Fitzpatrick competed in the state championships and finished in the top 5 each season. After graduating from the University of Vermont in 1977, Fitzpatrick raced professionally for 2 years before entering medical school. He is currently a radiologist with a practice in Pennsylvania.
John and I first met in September 1969. That was our very first day of prep in homeroom McAuliffe 203. Turns out my grandparents were good friends with the Fitzpatricks through the Algonquin Club in Bridgeport. The Pengue family and Fitzpatrick family relationship go back a long way. Throughout our years of prep, John and I became close friends, and I shared the same values. It started with our love of skiing and being teammates on the ski team. Our relationship goes back over half a century, and it all started in McAuliffe 203 at what John calls Mother Prep. John was the pioneer of the ski team. In the winter of 1970 and 71, there was only a loosely organized group of guys who formed the framework of a ski team. Under John's leadership, skiing became a varsity sport in 1972. And since then, the prep ski team has gone on to win 17 CISL championships. John was the foundation and cornerstone of this entire dynasty. Just some of his stats. Freshman year is 1970. The team finished second in the league. John was runner-up in the state championships up at Catamount. Sophomore year 1971, he was selected to compete in the all-regional slalom event where he finished first. Junior year 72, he led the team to an undefeated regular season. At states in his first run, he had the fastest time, but wiped out on his second run. To my knowledge, this was his one and only DNF as an entire high school career. Then going on to senior year, John had the number 1 time in every regular season meet and placed third at the state championship. Post-prep, John took a circuitous routing to medical school after graduating from the University of Vermont. He was a full-time ski instructor at Okemo from 1977 through 79. During that time, he competed in pro races, qualifying or making the cut in 5 of the 8 events. In addition to being a full-time radiologist, husband, and on his way to being the proud father of 4, John continued to ski competitively. In 1986, he had the lowest NASTAR handicap in the entire country for the 30-plus age group, qualifying him to compete in the Nationals in Colorado, where he won 4 out of the 6 races, finishing second. John also won the bronze medal in the Northeast Regional Great Instructor Race, qualifying him for Nationals, where he also finished third. I could go on, but I think you get the picture. John is an all-around gifted athlete on any surface, whether that be snow, the baseball diamond, or on the golf course. Despite these successes, John is a quiet and reserved person and prefers the background, not the spotlight. He never touts his accomplishments, either as a gifted doctor or athlete. However, underneath lies a tough competitor. As the School Sisters of Notre Dame taught me back at Our Lady of Peace and Lordship, actions speak louder than words, both on and off the pitch. If we asked John to come up and say a few words, we'd first have to call 911 and get a defibrillator. His actions as both a person and athlete say it all. My name is Dan Pengue, and it's my honor to present my friend and teammate, John Fitzpatrick, from the great class of 1973 for enshrinement into the Fairfield Prep Athletic Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fairfield Prep Athletic Hall of Fame welcomes John Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Dan, for those kind words and memories. What an honor. Coming up on my 50th year reunion in this Hall of Fame event, I've become something of an old guy trope. reminiscing and daydreaming about the past. I believe I have some insights that help explain what this award means to me. As a shy, small, undiagnosed dyslexic kid, I had not done well in school and was held back in 5th grade. Socially, I was doing no better. In fact, 2 bullies were harassing me daily on the playground to the degree that I didn't want to go out to recess. As a 9-year-old that same year, I didn't make the Little League team either, but I persisted and finally made the team. As a 12-year-old, I did something I had no idea I could do. For the first time, I hit a ball out to left center that seemed to carry forever. It cleared the fence. I was overcome as I rounded the bases, confused and giddy. Grinning from ear to ear, I was looking down, too timid to acknowledge the cheers. I found myself lost and veering toward the pitcher's mound. I had to focus on third base to regain my path, and finally was safe at home. Teammates were jumping up and down, with the crowd standing and clapping. I was elated. I had done something only some of the players could do. Even kids much bigger than me couldn't do it. Through sports, I finally could accomplish something I was proud of. My life slowly began to change after that season. My grades improved just enough to get into prep and continue to improve at the University of Vermont. Ultimately, I graduated with honors from medical school. Did the confidence I developed in sports help lead to greater success in life? There's no straight line certainty that one led to the other. But I do know that it started my lifelong dedication to sports. Athletics became the thing I could do to show I was good at something, encouraging me to try out for nearly every sport in junior high and the racing team at prep, where that sport eclipsed all the others. So what does being enshrined at the Hall of Fame mean to me? It reminds me of a scene from an old baseball movie. Just before Doc Graham disappears into that Iowa cornfield, shoeless Joe Jackson yells out, "Hey rookie, you were good." I've spent a lifetime striving for moments like that, and you just said, "Dr. Fitz, you were good," and I thank you for that. I would also like to thank my racing coaches, Father Paul Sullivan and Jay Healy, my teammates, particularly Dan Pengue, my constant friend for more than 50 years. The skiing seniors from the class of 1970 who welcomed the lowly freshmen into their newly created racing team. The Hall of Fame Committee and this institution, Fairfield Prep, the best high school scholastically and athletically in the state of Connecticut. Thanks go out to my family and friends, most notably my dad, who gave me the opportunity and encouragement to ski race. He was an embarrassingly enthusiastic fan at all of his kids' games. I'm proud to share that in 1985, my dad was also inducted into Prep's original Hall of Fame, which at that time was an honor based on service to Prep in the community. And lastly, I want to thank my favorite Fairfield Prep cheerleader, the person most responsible for tonight, my wife, who secretly nominated me for this award. Kathy, you were good. No, great. I wish I could be more eloquent for you. Most of this audience will little know nor long remember what I say here. But Kathy, I hope you never forget. Now, when I'm overcome, confused, and lost, I focus on you, Kathy, to regain my path to home, where I always feel safe and loved.